When you're hiring your first person, it's really important to make that distinction. Okay, is this guy a contractor or is this guy an employee? The IRS has a audit guide, if they were ever to audit you, that they have 20 different factors that they consider. One of the things it says is the worker required to comply with instructions about when, where, and how the work is to be done. I like to use the analogy of a plumber. When he comes in, I'm not in there instructing him how to repair the broken plumbing. So, in that point here, is the worker required to comply with instructions about when, where, and how the work is to be done? Well, I can tell him when to be here, but it's not like an employee where I say, well, you need to be here from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Another is the worker provided training that would enable him or her to perform a job in a particular method or manner. Again, I own an accounting firm. I would hire a bookkeeper. I am going to provide training on how that bookkeeper should perform bookkeeping services. But if I'm hiring a plumber to come in here, I'm not going to provide training on how he's supposed to repair my toilet. Are the services provided by the worker an integral part of the business operations? Well, a bookkeeper performing bookkeeping or accounting services for me is an integral part of what we do here. The plumber providing plumbing services is not. Must the services be rendered personally? Well, if I go hire a plumber to come in, I don't really care who he sends out here, just as long as the guy is competent to repair my broken plumbing. But if I hire a bookkeeper to work for me, yes, I expect that person to be coming in here and doing the services for me and not them outsource it to somebody else. I'm hiring that person. Does the business hire, supervise, or pay assistants to help the workers on the job? I may hire an assistant to help the bookkeeper that I'm hiring, but if I have a plumber coming in, I'm hiring for that job to be done. I'm not hiring an assistant to go help the plumber as he comes in. Does the recipient of the services set the work schedule? Well, that being me, the business owner, I would say again, you be here 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Plumber, well, he usually tells me when he can show up and work on my plumbing. Does the recipient of the service direct the sequences in which the work must be done? Again, if I'm hiring a new employee, and I would train them that, well, you need to do this first and then this second and so forth. The guy working on my plumbing comes in here, I wouldn't know where to tell him to start. He determines his own sequences of events and how it is to be done. Are regular oral or written reports required to be submitted by the worker? Am I meeting with this person on a frequent basis, checking in with them daily, weekly, where you stand on this report, where does it stand on this project? That sounds more like a worker, or an employee, I should say. Is the method of payment hourly, weekly, or monthly, as opposed to commission or by the job? Most employees are paid either hourly or salary, or even maybe some commission type work. Most contractors may be paid by the job, but again, they may be paid by the hour as well, so that's hard, that's still kind of gray. But again, these are 20 different factors that the IRS kind of looks at in combination to determine is it a person, employee, or a contractor. Does the company furnish tools and materials used by the worker? If I hire a bookkeeper to come in here and work here, I'll furnish them a computer and I'll furnish them the software. If the plumber's coming in here and working on my plumbing, I'm not providing all his pipe wrenches and tools. He brings his own to the trade. Has the worker failed to invest in equipment or facilities used to provide the services? So if a contractor's coming in here and working on my plumbing, he's going to provide his own truck and his own tools. And if I'm hiring a bookkeeper to come work for me, they're not likely to bring in their own computer and their own software. Does the arrangement put the company in a position of realizing either a loss or a profit on the work? Well, that is a situation where, I'm in the business of accounting. I'm in the business of performing accounting and tax services for my clients in the hope of making a profit. So we hire staff that will help us make that profit. If I'm hiring a plumber to come work on my plumbing, again, that's not in the realm of making a profit on my plumbing problem. Does the worker perform services exclusively for the company rather than working for a number of companies at the same time? I kind of touched on this earlier. If the plumber's going around offering plumbing services to numerous customers throughout town versus my bookkeeper coming here working for me only and no one else, then again, that bookkeeper sounds a lot more like an employee. Is the worker subject to dismissal for reasons other than non-performance of contract specifications, or can the worker terminate his relationship without incurring a liability for failure to complete a job? Yes, I can fire an employee if they're not here enough. They may be late every day, or they may not be doing a good enough quality of work. Can the worker terminate the relationship without incurring a liability for failure to complete a job? So, if I had a big contract and I'm hiring somebody to come in and do a big job for me, I could sue them if they didn't perform their end of the deal. As far as an employee, and if they don't meet my specifications of work quality and being here on time and that sort of thing, it's not very likely I could sue them for not performing their work at an adequate level. But there was a recent article in the Kiplinger tax letter, which is a great kind of a tax summary of things that are going on. Back in May, they had an article that said, the service has historically used a 20-factor test in classifying workers, and for audit purposes, the IRS has boiled it down to 3 main categories. First is the behavioral test, second the financial test, and third the type of relationship. So the behavioral, it kind of relates to what is the worker doing for you? Is that person, that worker, performing the services that we're offering to our customer, or are they offering some other service that we're, like the plumbing, that we're not offering to our customers? And what's the type of relationship? Are there evidences of employer-employee relationships, such as benefits, vacation, sick leave? I'm not going to pay that to my plumber, but I could to my employees. And is there an expectation that this work will go on indefinitely? I expect when my plumbing's done, the plumber's going to get out of here. When my ongoing bookkeeper is working, then I'm expecting them to continue working on as long as we're both happy with each other. So those are the main factors that need to be considered when you're hiring an employee or hiring a person, whether or not to call them an employee or a contractor. The reason the IRS focuses on this, it's a lot easier to go after one company that hadn't been having this area met properly than going after 20 different employees who haven't been doing it. So they can go collect, in extreme cases, they could even collect taxes of the contractor that they should have paid. They can collect those from the employer. Hopefully that answered the questions that you had on this important issue of employee versus contractor. But if you think of anything else, please give me a call.